Alrighty, we are officially live. It is Aloha Friday, as you can tell from our Aloha shirts. Now, see, Dave, he's got the old school Aloha shirts. That was back in the day. I'm trying to spice it up a little bit. I got the Sharks here. But again, just excited today to be able to share with you guys some great content. We have a great guest we're going to talk about. But again, I just want to reiterate, since we're just getting this going, Aloha Friday is still pretty new to us. The idea behind it is, we want to give some great content and hopefully impact some of your guys' mindsets so that way you guys can achieve whatever it is and unlock your true potential. But it's Aloha Friday, so we're casual, we're having fun. It's going to be a good time. The guy we're bringing on today, Jeff Salzenstein, is an absolute rock star. He is, he broke the top 100 on the ATP tour, tennis tour, at the age of 30. And he was the first one to do it, American, the oldest to do it at that age. So graduated from Stanford, two-time All-American, two-time national champion. There's so many different things that he was amazing at. And I'll bring in a little picture of him. This was us actually just a few months ago. And I know it's kind of small, but we were in Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center there. And we had a chance, me and my dad, Dave here, we had a chance to talk to a lot of the Olympic athletes in training and the U.S. Army. And that was such a special moment for us. Jeff was there with us. And then we got to go tour the facilities, which are top-notch, amazing facilities. And then we got to stand on the podium. As you see there, I don't know how Dave got number one and I got number two, but we all met him.
Got everything in perspective just right, just right. I like it.
So, if you have anything to say, I'll bring in Jeff in just a second. I'm going to actually start sharing this on our other Facebook pages. So, Dave, you have the floor at this moment.
All right. Well, I love it, man. Yeah, I'm excited today because, in your life, in life in general, why do some people make it and others don't? And so having Jeff on today, who his course of action, here he was, two-time national champion for Stanford. And yet it took him a while to break into the, top 100. But I have found in my years of experience is that what is it? What's the special thing that allows someone to break into the top 100 and others don't? What's the difference maker? And here's a journeyman that just kept going, didn't say no, kept giving it all his best and kept expanding. And, he did it. The oldest American at the time, the first one to ever to do it at 30. Tennis is a pretty young sport. You think 30 is pretty young, but in tennis years, it's not. You look at the top champions, there are some out there. Federer, he's coming back in strength. This is so perfect because right now it's the U.S. Open. And we're going to get some insights that maybe you wouldn't normally get. Here's a guy that played the U.S. Open. Here's a guy that, played all the top tournaments and was out there grinding it for 11 years. And I'm honored to say he's also now not only a top, he has a big tennis business that when you'll see here, we'll have a link in that and we'll find out at the end more of how you can get in touch with him. But he's also an extreme focus coach. And I am blessed that he chose, he studies and lots of different modalities. And the fact that he chose to also take on the extreme focus coaching and the beast training. So he's a very, in baseball, we call it a 5-tool player. That's when the guy's got all the tools. And so he's a 5-tool coach. That means he's got all the tools.
He is. He's an absolute rock star. And, I said it before, he's a former professional tennis player, but now, like you were mentioning, he's a rock star coach. And, we're honored to say that he's also a certified extreme focus coach. Within, you see the XF. Let's see if I can point to it. The XF logo right there. That's our brand. That's our company bringing, helping others find extreme focus and taking them to their peak state and their true potential. And Jeff is taking on that role, and he's carrying the legacy of the extreme focus coaches. So without further ado, let's bring him on in. Let's bring him live. I'll take this picture out of the way. And
wait a minute, I like being on the top.
No, you're out of here now.
Now look at Jeff.
Jeff.
Oh my gosh! No, I like the picture of me on top better. The podium.
Welcome, Jeff. How are you doing today?
Amazing. Thanks for the intro. I love seeing the father-son combination. I think there's a lot to you guys got some legs with this. I think you can do something great. And again, thanks for the intro and the plug about all the different things that I've been up to. It's funny. I know we're going to talk about a lot of things today in the short time we're together, or at least try to. But when I hear all those accolades, I kind of like smile. I'm like, did I really do that? Because getting back to some of the principles, getting back to the principles, I just stay in the moment and what's next. Like, I don't sit back and think about what I did back in high school or college. And then when I see the list, I'm like, damn, like I did some stuff, but I don't think about it in my daily routine. I'm like, what's next? What's next? Now, ironically, you talked about the US Open. Today is the 20-year anniversary of when I played a night match against Michael Chang in front of 24,000 people and millions of people worldwide. It was a Friday night match before Labor Day. I never will forget this. First time that I was playing at US Open, Arthur Ashe Stadium, and today's the day. So there's some synergy happening right now. I'm on Facebook Live with you guys 20 years later.
I've got chills on that one. I got total chills. It's 94 degrees right now, and I got cold on that one, just you expressing that. So I'm sorry, I have to ask. Can't let that get by.
Yeah, let's
go for it. How'd the match go? How'd it go?
Yeah, so ironically enough, I played tennis this morning with a local pro, and I told him, I said, hey, I'm trading Michael Chang for you today, 20 years later. I don't play a lot of these tennis these days, but interestingly enough, I channeled my serve. I was dropping bombs today, and it just goes to show you take care of your body a little bit. You can channel what happened 20 years ago. But what happened in that match was I'm the up-and-coming upstart. I'm 23 years old. I'm 1 year out of graduating from Stanford. Now, let's remember here, pro tennis was not a part of my program. This was not supposed to happen. I grew up in Colorado. I didn't go to an academy. I lived in a somewhat normal family, public high school. My dream was to go to Stanford. And once I did that, then I was going to go get a real job. And then something happened in college. I grew, I developed a big serve, and I said, well, I'm going to try this pro thing out. So it wasn't like I was groomed to be a champ. I wasn't groomed like Novak Djokovic or Federer or any of these guys. And that's probably part of the reason I didn't go higher than 100 in the world. But I played Chang. It was a second round match. It was a night match, first year of Arthur Ashe. And I remember, and I tell this story a lot, I'm very vulnerable and very open with this. I was more concerned with not embarrassing myself in front of all these people than I was in winning the match and beating the number 2 player in the world. And all day, I think I warmed up 4 times because I thought I was going to forget how to hit a forehand and a serve. I was not practicing Feiho. I was not practicing faith that I knew what I was doing. I actually, as a great athlete, I had a lot of doubt, and I went out there. I struggled in the beginning, but I stayed on serve 2-all, and then I loosened up. I took a deep breath, and I started balling. And for about 20 minutes, I absolutely took it to Chang, and I won the first set 6-4. I looked up at my box. I can't swear on this one, but I look at my box, and I have this blankety blank grin on my face, and I smiled to my family and my friends and everyone. And at that moment, the match was over, because I hadn't embarrassed myself. And I acquitted myself nicely. The next 3 sets, I lost like 6-2, 6-3, 6-4. I lost in 4 sets. The crowd gave me a standing O. I did an interview after. But in my mind, I was just happy I didn't embarrass myself. And interestingly enough, I had the tools. I had the ability to do it, but I didn't quite have the belief to beat the number 2 player in the world. And I have a regret around that. But now I get to teach it to others. So I'm grateful for that.
Isn't that amazing? I want to just jump in here because it just shows you the power of a belief system. And it's funny because we had our Beast Mode On 30-day challenge call today, and we talked about the importance of the belief system. And you even touched into one of the animals on there, Feiho. For those that don't know, those are some of the animal triggers that we use within the Be a Beast, the Beast Mode On 30-day challenge. But that just shows how powerful our belief system is. And you were just like, well, I made it to where I thought I could make it, and that was good enough. But what could we possibly achieve if we were to, shoot for even farther than that? If we had a deeper belief system. So I want to, and I don't know, Dave, if you want to,
I got to say one thing. Yeah, I never heard you say that before. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I did the exact same thing. I played Rod Laver probably 20 years before you played Chang. And Rod Laver at the time was the king of all tennis. And I looked at the crowd and I went, I just don't want to embarrass myself. I can't believe that. I forgot. And I'm like there. And you know, he got off to a good start. And I was too much into trying not to embarrass myself that finally I broke him. It was 3-love, and I broke him. And I went, oh. And then I got so excited, I literally served the biggest serves in my life. I aced him 4 straight points. I haven't done it to anybody else in my life. It's the only person, just nice guy to do it to, right? Rod Laver?
Right.
But it was over after that. That when I heard you say that, I go, I didn't embarrass myself. I already accomplished my goal. You know,
I wish that I had, you know, when I think about it, like if I had Dave or Shane in my corner the night before that match, and then throughout that day, I had you guys basically in my ear saying, listen, you're going to go out there and you are going to completely beast out on this dude. I don't care what he's ranked. You've got the ability, and you're going to go. I want you to get into beast mode. I want you to turn the animal instinct on and absolutely destroy this guy. And I really believe if I would have had that, like, I am a beast, I think I might have done it, or at least it would have been very interesting, because I didn't have anyone to work with to help me with that. I had issues with cramping. And so in my mind, I was thinking, gosh, if I go 5 sets, am I going to cramp? I needed someone to say, listen, forget about that cramping nonsense. Just go balls to the wall and let's see what happens.
Well, just think of all the people in the world, whatever it is, whether you're a tennis player or not, that just think of, you know, don't fail. As long as I don't embarrass myself. Look where their focus is at right there. Not focusing on the potential of what you can achieve. You're focusing on, well, what could happen if I, you know, really step out of my comfort zone here? And just like you were saying, you know, like the doubts come in. Well, what if this? What if I cramp? What if? There's so many what ifs that, you know, we could get completely lost in that. And we got to just stay focused, eye on the prize, like you were saying. And that just leads me right into it is, you know, obviously you were able to do some amazing things and crack the top 100 at 30, which, you know, is amazing just to crack the top 100 at any age. But to do it at such a late stage, you had to have picked up some things along the way that, you know, a mindset that was able to help you get there. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Before he does, I got to say one thing on what you said. You said, gee, if I had Dave or Shane, you know, I would have been, well, I many times say, if I had me when I was playing, and somebody goes, well, aren't you? No, I didn't understand this stuff back then. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. I didn't. And I know for a fact, if I did, would have been a total game changer. And that's fun. I mean, your experience now with younger players that you're working with. And for me, it's just so much fun to have, because they have us now, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have it, but they do. Now, Shane's different. He's still playing professional football, and he's had it since 9. And, I mean, I see him on those pressure situations always rise through and win games at the last second. Like, you can't believe it. So I just had to throw
always, but at least I'm in the right mindset. I'm in the potential. I put myself in position for those opportunities.
But I really want to hear this answer to that question. It's a great question. But I had to throw in that, I was like you. I always say I wish I had me back then.
Yeah. So, I mean, this answer, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. And, you know, my coach that helped me break the top 100, my tennis coach, is a guy I met later in my career. I was 28. He was Irish. He liked to party. You know, I was the serious one. I was the type A control freak, and he was the like artist and would play music on the court. I met him at 28, and he started teaching me about feel and about feeling the game, and also visual, seeing where I wanted the ball to go. You know, I had a lot of coaches up until then where they were very technical, and I was raised in a pretty conservative background. And so I like to say I was raised like a right-hander. I'm left-handed. I'm creative. I'm an artist. And that wasn't really brought out until my late 20s with this very unique coach. And so I started playing much more by feel. I started playing much more with the visual of targets, of being able to hit certain spots. I wasn't as conscious of that when I was younger. So that was number one. Having a mentor that shifted my way of thinking, having a fun mentor, a guy that brought the fun back into tennis. That was number one. Number two, I had 2 surgeries. After that Chang match, the next day I signed with IMG. I was one of the hot now American players. I was one of the next great hopes. And I struggled that fall with the expectations. And then 3 months later, I hurt my ankle. I was playing basketball. I came down for a rebound. I had my ankle. I felt the pain in my ankle, and it was misdiagnosed for the better part of 8 months before I finally had surgery. I lost a full year when I was right about to break through. My first tournament back, I had a knee injury. That was misdiagnosed for 6 weeks. And by the time I'm 26, I'm 800 in the world and I'm starting over again. And so that time period, I had a decision to make. Was I going to do my 3 years and then go get a real job? Or was I actually going to recommit myself to this dream of playing pro tennis? And it was that time that when I started doing yoga, I started studying what all the best athletes were doing. I started studying mindset and performance. And so at age 24, 25, I was drinking green drinks. I was eating organic. I was doing crazy stretches. So I was already out of the box before most people on the tour were out of the box. I was drinking green drinks in the locker room and people were looking at me like, who's this guy drinking green vegetable drinks? He's a weirdo, you know? Now everyone has a freaking cold pressed juice on every corner. So I think it speaks to me being curious, open-minded, trying new things, different things, the perseverance to come back from those 2 injuries. You know, I think I just keep going, man. Like, I don't stop. Like, if I have adversity, I feel sorry for myself for anywhere from 10 minutes to maybe 4 days, depending on how much it hurt. You know, when I'd lose a match, sometimes I'd sulk for about 3 or 4 days, but I'd come out of it and say, okay, what's next? And so I think the combination of the mentorship that I had to show me how I was, the adversity and dealing with adversity and perseverance and staying the course, being open-minded. And then finally, I was very aware of the things that I needed to improve. So I like to think my coach would say, like, you're like the CEO of your career. Like, I would say, okay, this is what we're doing in practice today. So I was kind of, again, I wish I was someone coaching me as intensely as I was trying to coach myself, because I knew I had blind spots. And that was actually a big reason I only got to 100 in the world and not 50 or 20. But obviously I've shared some of the principles and the reasons why I think it happened.
Well, I mean, you must have been on today's Beast Mode on call, because you're already just describing a lot of the ones that we touched on today, you know, talking about that deep belief system earlier. Then talking about, you know, we talk about Nobo, the flying fish, no box, no boundary. You were thinking of just outside the box ideas, green drinks, all these different things that other people, you were doing the little steps that you had to take regardless of what people thought, oh, this is how you do it. And a lot of people put everybody in these cookie cutter limitations where it's like, you got to do it this way. This is the only way to do it. And those people that are the out of the box thinkers, those you see a lot of them just succeed like you did, which is awesome.
Well, yeah, and I just want to give a shout out to Mark McAuliffe, because he did the Nobo lesson plan today, and he absolutely rocked it. In talking about in business, you know, you can do this in everything. You're tennis. You're now a businessman. You're going to bring the same principles that you have developed over years, and now you have these things to bring to a business. It's a total game changer.
Absolutely. And I want to add something else, Dave and Shane. When I was 28 and I met that coach and we started traveling a little bit together, he wasn't with me full time, but he gave me a nickname. I don't know if it's in your animal system, but he started calling me Seagull after the book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Love it. Seagull that flies and does not hang with the flock, because he would see me and he's like, dude, you are a freaking seagull. Like, you just do your thing. And so I started embracing that. And I encourage everyone listening to this is to find your inner seagull, you know, find what you're passionate about and try not to conform to what society tells you to do. You know, I'm 43 years old. I got a birthday coming up. I was telling you guys the other day, I just sold my house and I'm moving downtown to rent an apartment for a year. Usually people go from downtown to the suburbs when they're 43. They got married, the 2 kids and the white picket fence. I just seem to do the opposite. So I think you got to find what speaks to your heart and what you're really passionate about, what you believe in. And you're always going to have naysayers. You're going to have people that question you. You're going to have people that don't understand you. I like to think that I've been an innovator. I know some of my friends, he's a coach at Stanford, Paul Goldstein. He says that one of the things he respects about me the most is that I'm an innovator and that I'm willing to try things. He doesn't agree with everything I do. And I think that has allowed me to be a top 100 player and to move on and to create a website out of nothing. I created it out of thin air, an online website that's educating and helping people all over the world. And then for me to get involved with you guys and start to do the performance coaching has been a huge growth opportunity for me the last year. And again, it's because I'm a Seagull, because I'm an innovator. So I hope that anyone listening today will embrace these lessons and go out there and find what speaks to them.
Well, this is some great stuff. And I sorry to cut you off there, but I mean, it just goes to show is next to any perceived limitation, there's always a hidden potential right there. And it's about unlocking that potential, which you've been doing in everything that you do. You think outside the box, you live like the Seagull just to achieve that which maybe has not been achieved yet, or that which people don't believe is achieved. And you're unlocking that full potential. And I want to ask one last question before we close out here. But Dave,
we have to stop. We have to stop already. We're just getting warmed up.
No, but the cool thing is I now know what I will call you for here on out. Jefferson Seagull.
Yeah,
Jefferson Seagull.
Whatever you want to call me.
I love it.
You can say my last name, Dave, or you can call me Seagull. Whatever you want,
baby. It's so much easier for me to do. And Jason Botts, who played for played for the Texas Rangers, and now he's an extreme focus coach. I only call him Botsy. That's it. It's Botsy. I think it's kind of fun for each of us to have sometimes a magical, fun name, and you're Seagull from now on out, because I love that analogy. I love it. And I love that book. I mean, that had a huge impact on me when I was in college.
And that book and The Alchemist, I read a bootleg copy of The Alchemist when I was in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, playing a tournament. It was 165 degrees, and I'm eating pho phi phum, and there's bicyclists and motorcycles like scurrying around me. I'm like, what the heck am I doing here? I'm like 28 years old, and I'm in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm reading The Alchemist. So The Alchemist and Seagull, those are my books. That's what shaped me late in my 20s. And 15 years later, we are still just soaring and going for it.
I just want to touch on all these people chiming in right now. We have some great people commenting. And, Pierre says, love The Alchemist. I don't know if you guys can see the comments, but really good stuff, guys. Perfect compliment of the Beast Mode today. Love hearing wisdom. Aaron Garcia, awesome, Jeff. Hey, Aaron. Chris Ravelis, my high school teammate. I haven't talked to him in forever. What's up, Shane? What's up, Coach? Because you coached him as well. And then Mark, all sorts of rock stars chiming in. So I love it. I love the energy we got here. Before we wrap up, though, I mean, we've covered so many great things. This is just such great content. And you talked about how you made it into the tennis world, the top 100. If you had to just close out with one last piece of advice to anybody listening, how can they break into the top 100 just in life, in anything that they're doing, that you've seen that's just, that successful people do, rather than the people that just don't make it and get left behind?
Yeah, obviously there's a number of ways that we can go with this. And, obviously I can reiterate some of the things we talked about earlier. But for sure, surrounding yourself with the right people is very, very important. Having a mentor, having a coach, having the right people and the right energy. Your environment is so important. Where you surround yourself with, who you hang out with. So if you want to stop a certain habit and there's people around you that are doing that habit, you probably don't want to hang out with them anymore. And that requires some courage to make those changes in your life. So one is environment. Two, I think one big thing that I'm learning myself is, I've always been so achievement oriented, right? My identity has always been, my self-esteem has always come from being the winning tennis player, being successful, having everyone give me accolades. And when things don't go well, I have to practice staying in gratitude. You guys talk about it all the time. You've helped me a lot with that. Staying in gratitude and staying in abundance for what you have. And that's a huge, huge challenge. Many of my clients that I work with one-on-one, they share the things that are wrong in their lives. And on our calls, we have to shift to like, hey, look at what's right. And let's just hold the energy, because if you hold that and you have the faith, good things are coming. And sometimes that's challenging for all of us to do. So I think those two things is holding the energy of gratitude and abundance, surrounding yourself with the right people. And then kind of what I've done, I told you, is like, I just don't stop. Like, I take little mini breaks when I'm feeling a little bit off, and I focus on self-care, but just taking that action towards what you're passionate about. You will course correct, you will fail, you will make mistakes, but you got to keep going. And I think that's what has allowed me to keep moving forward with my life. And that's what I would suggest everyone to do, is just try to take the right action as much as possible.
Gosh, that's awesome. And the two things that you hit there with, it's an abundant life that we live in, like you said. And, surrounding yourself, putting yourself in that right environment, finding a mentor just leads me into, where can people find you? Because you're doing some great things on and off the tennis court, just changing people's lives. How can people reach out to you? I know you have the online thing going and all that, but what are ways people watching today can get in contact?
So before I give that out, I thought of one more thing. I think people need to start asking higher quality questions. So they need to ask themselves questions like, what would it take for me to create this? What do I have to do to create this? Not the why question, like, why does this always happen to me? Not the victim questions, the what questions. What can I do now to get to the next level? Ask your mentors, ask your coaches, ask yourself, get quiet, and the answers will come. So I just wanted to part with that one because I think the questions are really, really important to ask.
So you're saying
in terms of getting into
question was terrible then. So I had a bad question. Is that why you thought it?
No, there is no right or wrong, Shane. There is no right or wrong.
So Einstein said, if I had 60 minutes to solve a problem, my very life depended on it, I'd spend 55 minutes in the question. The right question would create the right answer.
Yeah, because as soon as you make a statement, it becomes a fixed reality. So if you ask a question, your possibilities start to open up. So what would be possible if I wanted to create this in my business? And then your mind starts going, and you do a whiteboard session and you talk to someone, and then boom, it happens. So in terms of getting in touch with me, I've obviously been in the tennis space for my whole life. I've got tennisevolution.com. We help tennis players get better at tennis with our online instruction. But in the last year, mainly because of you guys, you've helped me expand myself into the mental performance coaching. And I'm really interested in helping, leaders, entrepreneurs, and athletes. They don't have to be tennis players. And I feel like I'm pretty darn good at coaching based on all the experience I've had as a pro athlete and as a coach. So I don't have a website yet for that. I am working with a few select clients on the side. But if you want to get in touch with me, you could just email me at probably easiest to do jeff@tennisevolution.com. But again, the work that I want to do, that I'm passionate about, it doesn't mean you have to play tennis. So if you're intrigued by, what I've shared today, you can reach out to me. Of course, you can reach out to the Austins, and they can pass along information. Jeff@tennisevolution.com is probably the easiest way. I'm going to work on a new website in the next couple of months, but that's what I got for you guys today.
Awesome.
You rocked
stuff.
It was amazing content. I'm just so floored by how great this technology is, that we can be all the way across the country and still come in live to share some great content on Aloha Friday. And with that, with technology, in the past we've had some technical things, and today ran so smoothly, and we're able to reach a lot of people. So I'm grateful for that, and be able to really jump in and teach everybody. Do you want to
really, this is about helping people in whatever they do, their sport, their business, or profession, but ultimately it's to help them in their lives as well. And you guys do that. You guys get into the mind, and you guys get into the heart, and I appreciate that about you guys. And I look forward to learning more from you and your organization, and to keep expanding and growing in a lot of different ways.
And to answer Chris's question, can you coach football kickers? I mean,
why not? Of course, we can coach people that are leaders that want to get to the next level, because you got to listen and ask the right questions, and you can help people.
Yeah, I mean, like the kickers, they ever come out in a pressure situation?
Once in a while,
just once in a while. So
kickers have to go through.
I mean, after you learn the skills of anything, it comes down to how you mentally approach it. I mean, that's why we even get to work with Navy SEALs and Army Rangers and CEOs and that, because I don't care who you are, you're going to face some form of pressure. And so why not prepare yourself so you can move through it gracefully? And a kicker, I mean, he's out there all by himself, and the whole team's been working their fanny off, and now everything lines up on you. That's a bit of pressure.
It is
so
a
why
bit of
not
pressure.
learn how to deal with it so you go out there and put yourself in a position to win every time? Thanks, Chris, for the question.
I was playing tennis today, and I probably served better than I've served in years, and it was because I had the right idea, had the right focus, on what I was working on, and I was really clear, and I served amazing. And so it just, again, shows if you got your head in the right place and you're focusing on the right things, great things can happen.
Absolutely. Well, I'm grateful that this all went smoothly. You know, live is so fun because we can interact with everybody, and you never know what's going to happen. You know, you could have something, but we just go with the flow and we enjoy it. And that's what Aloha Friday is all about. So thank you all for tuning in. Dave, you wanted to jump in on something.
Well, just last thing. You talked about it, how cool the tech. Jeff's in Denver. You're in Albuquerque. I'm in San Diego. You know?
Who said social media was bad? I think it's one of the most amazing technologies ever because I get to meet guys like you. I get to connect with people that are into tennis. Social media is awesome.
Oh, we can reach so much. There's such a big audience. So we want to continue to reach and continue. If you liked what you heard today, share this. Go in and like, Jeff's page. Go friend request me. Friend request Dave, whatever it takes. This is an abundant world like we talked about. So like, share, let's spread the word. This is all free content. We're just out here. If we can just improve one person's life by just something that they heard and they triggered some kind of mindset within them, then this is a success. This is worth the time. This is worth the fun that we get to have. Shoot, I have a great time doing it. So another area to locate us, we have our website, extremefocus.com. You can get in touch with us there as well. Dave, as being the founder, I've gotten heavily involved in it now. And we're, like you said, we're coaching coaches to do what Jeff's doing. We have Extreme Focus coaches doing amazing things. We have our Beast Mode On challenge going on right now, where we're bringing in the animals and the instincts within. There's just so much great stuff that's going on. We would love to just share it out and reach as many people as we can.
Aloha kahanui e mahalo.
You guys are awesome. Thanks so much.
Not sure if he pronounced that right, but anyways, enjoy your Aloha Friday. Everybody have a great Labor Day weekend. We will talk to you guys next Friday at Aloha Friday.